All right, folks, here's our winter storm in the making across the mid-Mississippi Valley. Notice it's moving from west to east, so it's moving over the same location repeatedly. What that means is a prolonged storm for us. The culprit, this area of low pressure in the southwest, and we have two storms that are going to fire. So we have this jet streak pushing across the northern tier that's helping to instigate the precipitation, the northern shield. And then we have the moisture from the Pacific as the southern shield. So this is going to become a mega blockbuster storm in the east. It is 29 degrees out in Beckley, 39 degrees in Louisville. And folks, what makes this even worse is that precipitation so far this month is over par by 2.5 inches. This is one of our wettest Februarys on record so far. 33 degrees tomorrow, snow changes to sleet and then freezing rain. You might be asking, how much snow? I upped the totals in the Greenbrier Valley to 8 to 10 inches, kept things the same as earlier along Route 19, and upped the totals a bit in Marlington all the way up into Snowshoe with 8 to 10 inches of snow starting out as a dry snow, but then transitioning to a wet and heavy snow that's going to accumulate on the power lines. I also updated the total water content. 2 inches is the bullseye along Route 19, and then 2.5 inches of liquid equivalent in the Greenbrier Valley. That's going to spell some big travel and flooding problems. Starts 5 to 7 a.m. tomorrow, turns wet in nature later in the morning. Travel not advised between 5 and 7 a.m. because it's going to come down fast and furious and accumulate on the paved surfaces that are already below freezing. And then it's a gloppy wet snow that turns to sleet. So we're going to have some sleet build up on top of the snowpack that's going to condense it a bit, but make it a little bit icy. And then a little bit of freezing rain on top of that changes to rain, scattered power outages, and flooding. Now, the weather timeline on Wednesday. Freezing drizzle changes to a steady heavy rain late in the day. So we have more power outages, not that much wind, but we're going to have mudslides in here once we get into early Thursday, as we get thunder, fog, and everybody changes to rain early on Thursday, and then the wind picks up behind the cold front Thursday afternoon, so more power outages, and then it gets cold, so things start to ice over on Friday morning. One thing to keep in mind, folks, this is why you should never drive through a flooded road. Remember February 17th, 2023, almost 2 years to the date, a young person died after a vehicle was swept away by floodwaters in packs. This is something to keep in mind because we are going to see widespread flooding across the entire region, especially at the tail end of this particular storm. So as we go throughout the next 7 days, we do have another storm system that's going to fire, and we are going to have not only widespread to severe flooding across most of central and southern West Virginia, but also in Kentucky and Tennessee. These same places got hit by Helene, as you well remember, back in September. Not only will we have flood watches issued, but there is the potential for flash flood emergency. So make sure you have a NOAA weather radio handy over the next couple of days. When this alert goes off, hopefully it won't, but I do think that there's a good possibility of it. It means severe catastrophic flooding is happening or about to happen. It's the highest level flash flood emergency that the Weather Service can potentially issue. We're 34 degrees on Tuesday, 37 degrees on Wednesday. We start out in the 50s early Thursday. We drop into the 20s. That's when the cold front comes through. Finally dry on Friday, but some icy patches early in the day and late in the day, and flooding again late Saturday into Sunday as we pick up another inch to 1.5 inches of rain across the region, drying out on Monday. That's your latest forecast. More news after the break.